Hi, my name is Kate Littman-Kelly and I have the great joy of being volunteer coordinator for Thread Together in Queensland. Thread Together is a non-for-profit that sources brand new clothing from manufacturers and designers that would normally go to landfill, and it redistributes it to people who are doing it tough at no cost to the recipient. The project is a global first. It's based in Sydney and has been running for many years in other states. In November last year, the first Thread Together van for Queensland arrived in Brisbane. In Queensland, it's a three-way partnership between Thread Together, Anglicare and St Andrew's Anglican Church at Indooroopilly. We take our van, our mobile wardrobe, to about 20 sites across Brisbane and Logan. Since we began in November last year, we've assisted about 1,000 people with new clothing. As always, it's the people who you meet as you journey that make the biggest impact on your life. The individual stories that have the most meaning. I'd like to use the words of 4 women who volunteer to speak about the highlights and learnings from their Thread Together journey so far. Shubhra says, "Everyone has a right to live with dignity and self-respect in the world. Far from my hometown in Lucknow, India, I came to Brisbane, Australia to live. I have seen people here with the same emotions and feelings as in India. We can see on the ground why Australia is called a multicultural country and that we are all fundamentally the same. I have always wanted to serve people who are in real need. One of the best things about volunteering for this project is seeing the smiles on the faces of people who are receiving new clothing. This gives me an inner happiness which I can't buy. Being there to listen to someone tell their life story about so many hurdles and pains teaches me about dealing with difficult situations. Through volunteering for this project, I have learnt so many things. One of the things I value most is being able to serve people from different communities, cultures and backgrounds. Through Thread Together, clothing is diverted from landfill and people are respectfully clothed, and this is making a meaningful contribution to society." Sharon says, "When I first heard that St Andrew's Church wanted to partner with Anglicare in bringing the Thread Together project to Queensland, I just knew I had to become involved. There is the reward of working with other volunteers and the opportunity to hear the stories of those who, for whatever reason, find themselves in circumstances of need. To share with them the joy of trying on something new and feeling good about themselves is precious. As one person said to me, I don't look as if I live on the streets now. What a privilege for me to share that moment with them. The stories of people who appreciate the new clothes, which the Thread Together project provides, highlight the truth of the saying, 'There but for the grace of God go I.' Through my conversations with Thread Together patrons, I have learnt that sometimes just one major tragedy or loss in an otherwise functional person's life leads them to a situation of homelessness or serious disadvantage. Relationship breakups, family violence, business failures, and serious illnesses are a few of the themes which run through the stories of the people I have met. For many, the opportunities for choice in their lives have been taken away by circumstance, and for them to have the opportunity to choose some new clothing for themselves is a small moment of control in their situation." Allana says, "It is impossible to delineate where the church ends and our human, daily and communal lives begin, and vice versa. Upon my enthusiastic retelling of the sorts of tasks Thread Together volunteers undertake, a friend remarked to me, 'Oh, so you're helping people in need?' It struck me suddenly that of course we were. Of course we are, because the person in need is me. I am the one who has come away with the gift of listening to a young guest who visited the Thread Together van at one of our return meets. He had met someone nice and shared in conversation with his new clothes giving his own dignity a boost. Often our privilege is born of having been present for and listening to an unexpected narrative. Susan says, I was drawn to volunteer with Thread Together for the following 2 reasons. The first, caring for people in our communities, and the second, caring for our planet. At one of our sites, there was a young woman who had only the clothes she wore, as she had recently fled a domestic violence situation. The look of joy on her face as she looked through the van and chose a range of clothes that were new and suited her style was deeply moving. Her gratitude was enormous, and it was both a joy and delight to watch her move from sadness, as she told me her story of fleeing, to feelings of hope that there were people who could help her reclaim her life. The part that Thread Together plays in providing this hope is significant. My key learning is that the dignity in being able to have access to new clothes at a time when little else in life is working is critical. Without access to critical life needs, people lose hope.